What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got another Master Duel Academy video. Sorry for the lack of uploads. Obviously, uh, my dad passed away and recently just had his funeral, so we thought we do a to upload a video. Today's deck breakdown is going to be purely um, purely. We are working on another video. Um, but that will come later on. I'm Dom or Viper, and I'm here with Connor.
Yo, yo.
So today we're just gonna go through the cards, um, and show some replays, and we hope you guys enjoy the video, and we'll get into it. So obviously we all know what Droll and Lockbird does. I'm not gonna go through the card. I think everyone by now should know what Droll and Lockbird does. It just basically stops you from adding cards from the deck to the hand. Now,
It doesn't really hurt purely, except for my friend, which is your searcher card.
alright, so now first off, so you got purely. Um, so basically, this card is normal or special summon. You can excavate the top three cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add one excavated purely spell trap to your hand. Also, place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. Once per turn during your main phase, you can reveal one purely quick play spell in your hand, and you can special summon one XYZ monster from your extra deck that mentions that card. By using this card, you control its materials attached to reveal card to summon monster. This is treated as an XYZ summon. So it's one of your main plays. So Purrely Lee, and that's how you pronounce it.
Purely, yeah.
Um, Basically, it's same. Its second effect is the same as Purely. Its first effect is basically if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Purely card from your deck to your hand, except the quick play spell. So basically, it's just your trap or
Or
the
your
field spell. I'm pretty sure.
or the continuous spell.
Um, and then yeah, its other effect is the same as Purely. You can XYZ. Maxi, we all know what Maxi does. We all know what Ash Blossom does, what Nibiru does. Maxi, obviously, you draw cards every time your opponent special summons. Ash Blossom just negate. Nibiru, if your opponent makes 5 more special summons, um, you give them a token. So Stray, purely straight. So this is the field spell. So obviously, if you do draw into this first, you always play it first, because then your purely monsters that are special summon cannot be targeted. Yeah, with the card effects. So it's only a once per turn protection.
Yep. Cannot
It's
be targeted to turn their special summons, so
Yeah. So this
it's
is a
only activate.
so this only so if they wipe your board and then you still have your street and then you make your plays again, obviously they can't be targeted. But after the first turn, um, that's it. So on your opponent's turn, then they can do anything they want to your monsters, but it's not normally the case. And then basically, if a face-up monster, purely XYZ monster you control leaves the field because of a opponent's cards, special summon one. You can special summon from your deck or grave. Once per turn, you can target a purely XYZ monster on the field and attach a purely quick play spell from your deck or graveyard to that monster as material. So basically, this is just one way to use your quick play spells from your to attach it to your XYZ. There's actually other ways to do it, which we'll go through Read out the sec. So we only run two. Um, I think that.
Three would be a bit of a brick.
Alright, so now my friend Purely pay 500 life points, reveal three Purely cards, and basically you choose one, and then your opponent randomly chooses one to add to your hand, and then the rest gets shuffled into your deck. And then after the damage, during the damage step, um, if your opponent uses a card effect, um, and your XYZ monster leaves the field, or your monster, I'm pretty sure it's monsters as well. My friend Purely will also activate, and you can choose three quick play spells to add back to your hand, so it's a good recycler. We all know what Call By does. Alright, so Purely Happy Memory, choose one card on the field, and until the end of the next turn, the first time it would be destroyed by card effects, it is not destroyed. After choosing a card, then you can apply the following effect: discard one card, and if you do, special summon one level 1 Purely from your deck, or a Purely XYZ monster that has this card material gains the following effect. This card attack can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of Purely Happy Memory added to it plus one. So if you attach three of these to one of your XYZs, that basically gives you three attacks. Um, Pretty Memory. Each player gains 1,000 life points. Discard. So it's basically the same as Happy Memory, but it's the only thing that's different is its XYZ um, is material as an XYZ is different. So once per turn you can send one other card you control to the graveyard, then target one card your opponent controls, attach it to this card as material. So basically, Pretty Memory is basically, let's um, say you had Gnaw on the field, and then you activate. So you had Gnaw on the field, and let's say you had also had your level one Purely. You could send your Purely to the graveyard and then take their monster from their field and attach it to your XYZ. So it's another way to just get rid of monsters, which you'll see in the replays on how it's done. Delicious Memory, choose one monster on the field, and until at the end of the next turn it cannot be destroyed by battle. So basically, same. Its original effect is the same as the others. Its XYZ effect is it gains 300 attack defense for each material attached to it. Um, and yeah, so that's basically all it does. Purely Sleepy Memory. The next battle will affect damage you take. This turn will become zero. You can also immediately apply the following effects. Same thing. Discard to special summon, but its XYZ material effect is during your opponent's standby phase, you can draw one card, and it's not once per turn. So if you attach all three Sleepy Memory to your XYZ, you'll be able to draw three cards. So it's a good way to.
That
Um,
happens in the standby phase as well, so it goes around triple tactics, which is nice.
we all know what Imperm does, just negates your monster's effects. Um, Purely Yeep, pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. So if you control an XYZ Purely monster, you can special summon your one from the extra deck with a different rank by using that target as material. So basically, if you had, say, E Purely Happiness on the field, you could then use the trap to bring out your plump or your null. But in the end phase, it does return, unfortunately. But also the main reason we use it for the main reason we use the trap is basically you can if this card's in your graveyard, you can target up to three purely monsters in your graveyard and shuffle them back into the deck. So it's a good way to recycle your monsters or your XYZ. Um, I won't go through the extra deck. We don't really use these. These is just if we ever have to use them, which you hardly ever do. So E purely happiness. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can add one purely card from your deck to your hand. Also, if this card has a purely happy memory as material, you can half attack of one face-up monster in the field, up to thrust per turn, which is 3 times per turn. When you activate a quick play spell, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material. Then you can return one spell or trap your opponent controls to the hand. So basically, your XYZ monsters gain the effects of your spells, your quick play spells, which is good. E purely beauty. Basically, you can negate monsters. You can negate your opponent's monsters' effects, and then if you activate a quick play spell, any quick play spell, you can change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls. In most of the game, in the 4 game videos that we got for you, you'll probably just see us using Plump and Gnaw the most. So Plump, you can target up to 2 spell traps in the graveyard, either graveyard your opponent's as well, and you can attach it as material. Um, and then if this XYZ card has purely delicious memory as material, up to thrust speed per turn, 3. You can, and when you activate a quick play spell, you can attach it and then banish a monster on the field until the end phase, which is a good way to play around imperm. So it's actually nice. And so X purely happiness. Basically, this is your if it has. So it's the only thing is you can negate effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to this effect activation. If this card has a level 1 purely monster as material when an attack is involved, this card that has 5 or more materials inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. Um, so if you're going for like an OTK, happiness is happiness is the card to do so. Um,
Yeah.
X purely no. Um, basically, the card's unaffected if you have 5 or more materials. And then you can detach 2 materials from this card and target one card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, place it in the bottom of their deck. It's a quick effect. If this card is a quick effect, if this card has a level 1 purely monster as material. So it's basically if you go into your Gnaw, it's basically you just sit there and you use Plump to attach as many spell cards as you can, traps, go into Gnaw, and then you just sit there and just bounce cards back. Unless they kaiju you, then you obviously can't stop it.
Yeah, Kaiju's are purely worst nightmare. And when a Rise Heart comes, that's gonna be a pain in the ass too.
But it's overall fun deck. Um, it's actually not that hard to learn. We obviously haven't had the chance to be able to attack the same monster constantly. We just haven't been in that situation yet. But nonetheless, the videos that will show you how you can play the deck. Oh, what am I doing? Replays.
We have 4 to show.
So we'll start from here. Um, yeah, when this deck first came out, I actually thought it was going to be pretty hard to learn, but it's actually not that difficult.
It is a pretty consistent deck as well. You are gonna brick with it. Every deck bricks, but some more than others.
Um, and it's a good way to play against decks like this.
And this is Stun Runic. For whatever reason, he chucked away his There Can Only Be One. I believe it was.
And the good part with Happy Memory is you can actually stack up back row cards and attach it to your XYZ. As you'll see in a few turns, this guy just couldn't do nothing.
If he had his fountain, we could have sucked that up too. So we couldn't go into our XYZ because of summon them, but it is what it is. But new turn, we're able to do it now. Reveal Delicious with Purrely, XYZ into Plump. Do the same Plump effect, attach 2 quick plays from the grave. That should go up to 5. Banish.
It does come back.
Send to.
It does come back in the end phase.
Yeah,
But he
it comes
brings out
back.
another one.
Hug and effect.
Imperm.
So basically that banish that we did doesn't mean anything because it'll come back.
And then we go into Null, and then now we'll suck up his trap card. We suck up his actual monster first.
Yep. And it's not once per turn either. That's so breaking.
And then he
just
scoops. He knew it was all over. So that's a good way to play against decks like that. I believe this one is the dude that goes into Zeus.
I believe so. Pretty decent hand. Summon Purrely. He imperms. That's fine. We've got other plays.
And this is how you play around Imperm. One of the ways you can play around Imperm. Get the field spell.
If we had the field spell first, he wouldn't have been able to. No, he would have been able to imperm because Purrely wasn't special.
Attach, banish up, and then I think we banish our Purrely.
Up to 5.
Go into Nor.
We are unaffected as well.
And then we add attach one so we can draw. Purrely comes back.
Draw 1. Oh, this is this guy. If he went into Junk Speeder, we had imperm here. So he was dead right from the start here. Sure, attack into that, no worries.
Detach, yeah, we send his back row. Attach another one, so now we can't be targeted. And then Pretty Memory will suck him up. Get the
Really
trap.
nice draw power. Beauty. Patch is taken into attack. Patch is charge warrior.
Recycle.
Boom. Boom. Attach another card up to 8.
This is where, so in a situation like this, that's when you'd probably go into happiness because it'd get a kind of a, it would get its attack would be
A
enough
lot.
to do an OTK.
You're on the maxi.
Maxime,
Auto maxi at the start of his turn. He can't do nothing.
attach another one.
Up to 9 materials now. Then really from here it's just rinse and repeat.
He tried to solemn strike,
Solemn.
but we can't be destroyed.
Since we have more than 5, I believe, 5 materials.
And then he scoops when he realizes that he can't touch us.
Yeah, the boys.
I think this one's the Zeus one, I reckon.
We play around a Zeus wipe in one of these. Yeah, I believe this one's it. Got street here. Beauty.
Suck it up just so we can draw in the next draw a card in the next standby phase.
Nice. Oh, this is Lair of Darkness. Yeah. Lair of Darkness into Zeus. Isaac Glider.
And then you'll see my friend
Lair of
activate to recycle 3 spell cards, then bring them back to your hand.
and straight to special summon. Purely. Wouldn't it be broken if you could special XYZ from the grave too?
And if you don't get a Purrely card, basically nothing happens.
Here he tries to banish one card from the grave and street.
But we use the trap card to recycle before he can banish it. So we just lose the field spell.
Yeah.
And then now he goes into Thunder Charger, attack, and then he'll go into Zeus.
And we have 4 going into 5 cards into our next turn. 6 with the draw from my friend. Okay, now we've got 6 cards to play around Zeus.
And for some weird reason, this guy decides to wop the field in a sec.
Right here.
Because you can play around this, as you're about to see. So like this guy should just waited.
And he got rid of his field spell, which is what his deck revolves around too, so even if he didn't do it there, we still had plays, because we still had quick play spells.
And then I think he scoops.
And here was to go into Noir, I believe. Yeah.
So this guy just went basically like trigger happy and wiped the field, and that's just how you play around That's just how you play around Zeus.
Zeus, what?
Now, had he had waited until we used all our attached all our quick play spells, then yeah, we would have been screwed. But for some weird reason, he decided to do it beforehand. I believe this is against Cyber Dark. Yeah. So this is just to basically show you guys, like, even if you just want to play like defensive, you can
You can,
still screw people over and stop them from making plays.
yeah, activates Rev system, brings back Sub Dragon.
There's a lucky top deck, but we get
He
ashed.
ashes.
But we'll just discard and bring in the other Purrely. I think with this deck, if you're gonna negate, you gotta just wait for the right time, which he negated both of us, but it is all good. Like we still played, we still did alright. Even though we got ashed, we could still, it's other affecting, get ashed. And now we suck up his monster.
Hmm.
I know we send his spell card back to the hand. Now we're gonna suck up his monster.
Banish. Suck up.
And then go into Gnaw.
So,
We didn't have
okay.
delicious memory, so we didn't get the attack power up. But it doesn't really matter, as you're about to see. And then we get delicious there, but you've got to have plump, have delicious memories attached to plump, and then go into Gnaw.
Harry normal summoned, but we got rid of his Chimera before he activated the effect, so he didn't get it.
And then he scoops. So it's yeah, it's a good deck. Obviously without your quick play spells, it's kind of hard to play around getting negated. But if you have your quick play spells,
He
you,
should be fine.
you can easily play around negate. All right,
It's
guys.
a pretty fun, consistent deck. We recommend to get it.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for the video. We hope you guys enjoy, and we'll have
Take care,
another
guys.
video out soon. Um,
Stay
and
tuned for that.
we'll
Thank
see
you
you in
for
the next
watching.
one.
Alrighty, guys. Take care. Bye bye.